What's up, dudes? Two things. I am hotter than some Milwaukee tools on Marketplace, and we got ourselves a new project boat. Just picked it up. Really don't know much at all about it. Think it's a pretty good deal as long as we can get that motor to work. 15 horse Evinrude. I haven't even looked up the numbers on it yet, but it is a newer Evinrude, like the mid 90s. I'm not exactly sure when they changed that style. I want to say it was like 93. And I'm not sure when they axed it or went to the E-Tech model. Let's go ahead and take a look at it, see what we got before I melt. 14. Put a tape on the bottom. It is 36. But this is it. I mean, it's actually a pretty decent looking boat. I mean, not any major damage that I've seen. Guy said it didn't leak, which that's what everybody says, right? It's a little dented up in the front, like they all are. That ain't that big of a deal. Kind of cool how it has two handles up front. Somebody has added them a piece of wood here so they could put a pedestal up front, or a seat at least. Got some pretty hefty ribs here in the boat. The seats go down, but I wonder, are they riveted to the bottom? No, they're not. That's cool. I like that. When I saw the boat in the ad, I thought it was a gap. You know how some boats have a gap up under them, or between under the seats, like an air gap. I thought it was like that. Then when I saw it, I thought, oh crap, it's like a bass tracker. A lot of bass trackers have the flange that goes in the bottom of the boat, and then they're just riveted to the bottom of the boat. I hate that design. So that's cool. We're not riveted to the bottom of the seats. Of course, it's just a 3-seater. 1, 2, 3. Transom looks to be in pretty good shape. It is an oddball transom though, and it seems to be the factory transom. It has a 2-step on it. You have your piece of wood against the transom of the boat, then you have another piece that goes across. I mean, I've seen better, but it's not soft anywhere. It just looks like it's a little wore from use. I think we're going to get by without having to replace the transom. That's pretty cool. Got a little damage right here, but we can paint that over, I think, pretty easy. All the welds seem to be in good shape. Like I said, no major dents. We're missing the handle back here. Well, it's broke on one side. And I don't know, man. It's just a pretty good, old, solid boat. And it hasn't had 1,000 paint jobs. Looks like somebody might have went over it with some green over here on this side for some reason. I don't think it's like that on this side, is it? Yeah, a little bit. But not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Just looked up the serial number, or the model number of the motor, and it is a 1994 Evinrude 15 horse. Just like it says right there. It's a 94. I think it's a little scratched up. I'm sure it has the model number somewhere else. They usually stamp them somewhere else on the block. So if I come across it, I'll double check. But it's within that era, like I thought. It looks to be pretty good. And against my better judgment, I bought it without listening to it run. So guy said it run good. I did pull it, and it seems to have pretty good compression. I asked him any problems with the engine. He said no, it runs good. Of course, it didn't have a battery. It came with it. He did say that last time he ran it, he sucked some mud up in it. And it said something about maybe I need to clean the carburetor, but mud shouldn't get in the carburetor. Could be the impeller. So I guess I need to hook some muffs up to it, a little power, see if we can't get it running. Didn't come with a gas tank either, but the gas tank and the old Owens will work. It's a Johnson fitting. I think they're still the same. That's it on the boat motor until we figure out if it runs or not. As you can see, the trailer is way too small. I didn't bring it home with that motor on it. I put the motor in the back of my truck. So we're going to have to do something about that. The only option is to extend the trailer, or see if I can't trade this trailer or sell it and buy another one. This is definitely a jet ski only trailer. Actually, it would work perfectly for the little blue boat back there, but put it on Marketplace, got several people interested in it. Of course, no trailer lights. Well, it's got trailer lights, but both of them's busted and there's no plug-in, so the wires are cut somewhere. Like I said, it's still set up for a jet ski. See, them bunks are turned sideways. It does have brand new wheels on it, which is pretty cool. He said that he only had 1 mile on them. So there is that. And it's not rusted up. It's got a little bit of surface rust up here where somebody put this little coupler on and didn't prime it first. All this stuff looks to be okay. The winch works, and straps a little A little shaky, but I mean, it might work out okay for us. We'll have to inspect that a little bit later. Anyhow, there we go. Didn't really have a whole lot in the boat. No really good treasures. Some kind of vodka, which I don't know if that's actually vodka. It's actually still sealed right there. I think I'll stay away from that though. Got some bobbers. A little popping bug. Have string. Some soft plastics tossed around. A broken paddle, which actually could still be used. I actually need a paddle for my boat. I had a wood paddle and it finally dry rotted all the way. I have a hair scrunchie. Never know when you need one of those. Other half of the paddle. Ratchet strap that broke. Old school bobber. That's about it. Oh, we got some vice grips. Are they real vice grips? No, they're some Harbor Freight vice grips, I guess. Probably not worth the crap since he left them in here. I only got a plug. It's always good to have a plug. Pretty beefy transom support, so that's good. Like I said, we don't have to mess with the transom, I do not believe. Not a whole lot of, work to do on the boat. A little bit of sanding, take the decals off, figure out what we're going to do. That'll be the next step. All right, you guys glad that I got back on a John boat? Because ain't nobody watched the video on that one yet. I still ain't worked on that one yet at the timing of this video. Waiting on parts from Amazon. But I actually have 2 or 3 buyers lined up on that thing. So as soon as I get it fixed, it'll be out of our way. And then we can finish this one. All right, let's get to work. All right, I hooked up some gas and a little battery to the motor. With some muffs on, I'm gonna turn the water on and see if we can't get this thing to crank. I'd like to know what I need to order before I order all the stuff. Don't want to work backwards again like I did on the old Owens boat and mess with the motor last. Let's see what kind of problems we might run into. Hopefully it fires right off. Yep. It didn't work. Well, in order for a gas motor to run, you need 3 things, really 4. You need air, fuel, compression, spark. We are missing spark on both cylinders. It looks like someone, which I blew these off a little bit, but these plugs were really fouled. So, not to say that I got lied to, but I got lied to. This thing has not been running for a while, I would assume. I mean, he said that it quit on them the other day, after they sucked up some mud or whatever. And he didn't try to crank it again. That's a red flag. Guys, learn from me. Always bring your compression tester and don't buy a motor unless you can hear it run. Unless you're getting a really good deal. And that's not out a whole lot of money on this rig right here. If this motor isn't repairable, which I'm pretty sure it's going to be. I have to do a little digging on it, but I never get lucky on them turnkey deals. If a deal is too good to be true, it usually is, for me at least. So, all right, let's do a little digging on these stupid motors, and I'm assuming probably a CDI, or who knows, it could be. I hope it ain't the stator motor. That would really suck. All right, do a little digging. I don't know anything about these motors, and see what we can come up with. Cool. At least I got a boat paddle out of the deal. Too bad it cost me $700. decals off. Next up, least favorite part. Got some 120 grit loaded up on a mouth sander. We're going to go over this whole thing. Hopefully this darker spray paint that somebody's put on is going to come off pretty easy. Don't have to take it down to bare aluminum. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use Alumahawk again because it's my favorite paint that I've used, even though it's not my bank account's favorite. But I feel like it's really good paint for aluminum boats, and you don't have to take it all the way down to aluminum. Actually, if you take it all the way down to aluminum, it's more work on you in the long run. So don't have to take them all the way down to aluminum if you can get by with it. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, no more talking about it. Less talk, more work. Well, we got this thing sanded down pretty good. That old original paint was kind of chalky, and it took a little bit more off of it than I wanted to, but that's just how it's going to go. But we got that done. I went with a little wire wheel, hit all the rivets on the bottom and the ones below the water line on the sides. That way we can put some glove on it. Just ordered it yesterday, so it's going to be probably in next week when that stuff comes in. But I guess what I'm going to do now, so I'll have something to do, is go ahead and flip this thing over and start sanding on the inside and get all that sanding done in a couple days. That way maybe it'll feel downhill after that. The other day we couldn't get this motor to get spark on either cylinder. Well, I took a little stab in the dark and took the CDI off, and as you can see, it's a little busted. I don't know if it got too hot and melted. Hopefully not, because that means this thing ran hot. Checked the compression on it the other day, and it was a little low, but man, I didn't have the throttle wide open, and I have a Harbor Freight compression tester, which not too great of reviews on those things, but it was even on both cylinders, and it wasn't like 50. I think it was like 90 or something. Like I said, you can't really go by that. The main thing, you don't want it to be super low, like 50 or 30 or something, but what's bad is when you get, like, even if you're using a cheap Harbor Freight compression tester, you don't want to have like 90 on this cylinder and 30 on this one, or like 150 on this one and 80 on this one. As long as they're both close, it should run fine if we can get spark. Anyhow, rambling. So I'm suspecting that the CDI was bad. I went ahead and ordered one. It was $75, so I hope it fixes it. I'm not exactly sure how. I guess you could have went in with a multimeter and probed all these and try to figure out if it was definitely this, but I'm not smart with stuff like that. So just got my fingers crossed, and hopefully we can take this one off, put this one on, and get some spark on this thing. All right, I got the new CDI in and hooked up, I hope. And pull the plug out, top plug. Hopefully it'll stay right there. And hopefully we got spark. Alright, got spark on the top cylinder. Let's check the bottom one real quick. Alright, that worked. Now hopefully we'll be able to take this thing out, some gas to it, and maybe we can get it to run. I pulled the carburetor off yesterday and cleaned it out pretty good. It wasn't very dirty, had a little bit of trash in it, jets were clean. So hopefully we can get this thing to pop off. supposed to be doing that. Other than that, looks like a pretty good little motor. We'll have to see if that needs to be just a gasket replaced or what. But that makes me happy. I'm glad it's at least running, so if there is anything that needs to be fixed, it should be fairly simple. Alright, very, very cool. We got the inside of this boat pretty much sanded, and everything's going to be covered, you know, maybe not the sides, but the bottom will be, except for back here. Just about everybody leaves this bottom portion open, and that's what I plan on doing with this boat. If you recall, on the little blue boat, I did Herculiner on the sides and on the bottom of that thing, and I kind of like the way it turned out. And I'm just going to do this back section with it because I got some left, and just kind of twiddling my thumbs until my glove it comes in. Went ahead and sanded it down, you know, all the crevices that I couldn't get with the mouth sander by hand, and then wiped it down with acetone. And I already stirred up my Herculiner, and I'm just going to put it on with a chip brush. They sell special rollers for those things, but man, when I did the blue boat, I thought it looked just as good when the spots I brushed it. So to keep it simple, I'm just going to use this little chip brush and try to spread it out good, and I think it'll turn out all right. Like I said, I'm just doing this bottom part and probably that little metal strip that's going up to the transom, but I'm not doing the transom. Did the transom on the blue boat I started to, and I thought it looked like crap, so I'm not going to do that. All right, let's get to work. That's what happens when you ask your fiance to get you some gloves. Look how pretty these are. I'm still going to use them. I appreciate it. All right, let's get to work. Knock this out. This stuff is not very opaque. It's pretty transparent. You still see the green through it, but I already knew that from dealing with the blue boat. But that looks good. We'll go back on top of that with our regular paint. We'll have just a little bit of texture, maybe a little sound deadening back here where the battery and gas tank's going to be. All right, on this boat, we got a few rivets that look a little sus to me. Guy said it didn't leak, and I mean, he had it in the water, so when I picked it up. So I'm assuming it don't have any bad leaks, but just to be safe, I'm gonna go ahead and coat all these rivets. It's gonna be under the water line with the Glove-It. I've used this stuff a bunch of times. I've never used it on a boat that I've kept for very long, so maybe this will be the boat that we go with. But I've already mixed it up. The stuff is not very cheap. The Goop Coated is another pretty decent option as far as reviews. You know, this stuff is made for aluminum boats, both those brands, so I think either one would be a good option. Glove-It's a little bit more expensive now. Goop's done went up in price. It was half the price. Now it's just like, you know, like 10, 15 bucks cheaper. But anyhow, we're just gonna put it on all these rivets. Now, I went through earlier and got all the paint off of all the rivets, and then I just wiped them all down with acetone. And now I'm mix this up a little bit longer. I'm just gonna put it on with a chip brush, put 2 coats of it on, and we should be good. Takes about, I think, like 12 hours to cure, so I'll do a coat this morning. Maybe tomorrow I'll put the second coat on, and then we'll be ready to start prepping the thing for paint. Oh my gosh. This came out of nowhere. This was definitely not supposed to happen today. Oh my goodness gracious. I got Amanda to go get me some beer though. That's the only good thing coming out of this situation right now. Crap, I hope that stuff cured enough. We'll see tomorrow, huh? It's actually a couple days later. Went fishing yesterday. I don't think the rain messed it up. It seems like it hardened up pretty good. But what it did do is blow crap out of the stupid tree all over my Glove-It. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do is run over this with a mouth sander real quick and get some of this crap out of it. It's even on the sides. The stupid storm come out of nowhere. But like I said, at least it did, you know, harden up good. So I want to sand it completely off. Just try to get some of this trash out of it. I mean, it's pretty bad. This whole leaf imprint right here. We wasn't planning on all that, but that's how the cornbread crumbles, or whatever Betty Crocker said. All right, let's knock this out. Well, we got it sanded back down. I blew it off with a air hose. And then I wiped all the spots down with acetone again, and then hit it with another coat. Hopefully Mother Nature will be a little bit more nice to us. It's a beautiful day here in Tennessee. It's only like 72 degrees this morning. So, all right, wait on that to cure, and we can go to the next step. Backwater boat rehab and custom awning service. How about that? Don't want to be held up too long on this boat. I can't move it in the garage to paint it because that boat's in my way. I can't get that boat out of my way because I still need to take it out and test it, make sure everything's okay to sell it. So, we got this. I can't wait to see what Amanda says about this apparatus. She's going to love it. We got low headroom in our paint booth here. I'm going to go about all the steps that I usually do on painting these boats. Nothing special. Since this glove is cured, I'm going to go ahead and rough it up a little bit with a mouth sander with 220. That'll just give it a little bit extra adhesion for the paint. Then I'm going to wash this thing down real good with soap and water. And then whenever it dries, it'll probably be tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to wipe it down with acetone. I'm going to go ahead and say that this has paint on it. You can't really see with this, this green hue. But, I mean, it does have some bare spots, but I'm not going to go out of my way and try to, you know, wipe this thing down with vinegar. I think that we have enough paint on it to get by with that. After we wipe it down with acetone, we'll be ready to paint. I already have the paint here. I'm just probably going to roll this paint job on because, like I said, I'm kind of in a time crunch. With that being said, let's get to work with what we can do today. Got on my awning here. Custom, boy. Golly, that looks good. All right, guys, we are getting ready to paint this boat. I already wiped the whole thing down with acetone. It don't really specify on Alumahawk paint. It just says make sure it's grease and wax and dirt and everything's removed. Obviously, grease and wax remover would be a good option. I feel like acetone will work just fine for what we're doing. Like I said, I'm using Alumahawk paint, black. I think it's just a flat black. I painted 2 boats the same color before with Alumahawk paint. Dries very fast and it is thick as clay. And I'm doing this one outside. It's the first one I've done outside, so I'm a little worried about it. So what I'm going to try to do is mix this with MEK, thin it down a little bit. It suggests if you want to thin it down, use MEK 5 to 10%. I'm going to start off with 5%. Basically I got like a big 2.5 quart mixing little cup. 2 ounces of MEK and like 40 ounces of paint, and see how that goes. Like I said, this stuff, it dries super fast, and I'm gonna have to thin it out to be doing this stuff outside, and it's a little breezy today. So I got a lot of stuff working against me. The only good thing I got going on is I'm gonna be doing it under shade. I'm in the same method that I always use too, just a little foam roller. Get these from Harbor Freight, Avanti. 1/2-inch foam rollers or 4-inch rollers, and a cheap little roller you get like from Lowe's, or they have them at Harbor Freight too. Said I'm gonna start on the bottom and just do 1 channel at a time all the way down. The first coat isn't that big of a deal. I'm not gonna make you guys watch me paint this entire boat because that's really boring. But I'm gonna do 1 coat today. Like I said, not that worried about how it looks. You just want to get that base coat on. But tomorrow, I'm hoping I'll get it to the 2nd coat tomorrow. I really got to keep a wet edge on this stuff, because if not, I mean, it'll dry up and it's going to look splotchy. You're going to have roller marks, and I don't want that. Like I always do, 1 section at a time, go all the way down, then start on the next section, you know, the next little rib part, go all the way down. The same thing on the sides. I'll like start with the top section all the way down, and then that bottom section all the way down on it. That way I can try to maintain a wet edge. I'm going to try to do my best today, even though, like I said, it doesn't really matter. I try to play around with that thinner and make sure I got the right consistency for tomorrow. All right, let's do it. one coat on. Not terrible. We got a few holidays here and there. You see that roller mark? I don't know if it's going to show up good there. You can see it in the light right here. That's what I'm talking about. We want to try to avoid tomorrow on the final coat. You can see that one right there too. So what I ended up doing was adding, I had just a little bit more green left, and I put it in the black, because I made some room in the gallon. Then I went ahead and added some MEK to the gallon. That way everything would kind of mix up really good. I think I ended up going a little over 5% is what the second coat's going to be. Probably closer to maybe 7. Hopefully that'll give us enough wet edge so we won't have any roller marks tomorrow. If I have time tomorrow. You don't have to sand between coats on this stuff if you get the second coat on within 48 hours. So need to try to do it tomorrow because I don't want to make it last until Sunday. Alright, I ain't gonna make you guys wash the paint again. Like I said, it's boring crap, so I'll just pick it up after that other coat's on and dried and let you guys see what it looks like. Alright, we got 2 coats on it. It definitely ain't my best paint job. I was really fighting that daggum heat. It was wanting to draw me so fast, even with the MEK. So I guess lesson learned. Next time, just try to do it on a cooler day or do it in the garage. But it don't look bad. It's gonna look fine for camo. It's just a camo base, so I almost thought about going back over it with black just on the sides, but I don't think it's gonna look much better. Like I said, camo on top of it, it's gonna look okay. All right, let's go over this camo we're doing. All right, for the camo, crap. Going with red leg again. I haven't used these yet. Full disclaimer, I am kind of copying a boat that I saw on, I can't even remember, one of the Facebook John boat groups that I'm a member of, but I thought it looked really cool. I've never seen one like it before, and I think these are the stencil used. I don't remember who it is. I probably doesn't watch this channel, but you know, if it is you and your boat, you know, hey, props to you. It turned out good, and I want to replicate it. But what I think he used, or at least as close as I can find, is this red leg DG5. And this is 5 stencils, but we're not going to use these 2. We're just using these 3. Basically, we're going to have 3 different colors of just like grass. Like this is one. Got another one with like cattails. And there's one more under here somewhere. I mean, these 2 right here will be cool for just a real quick camo on a boat. I mean, it's actually kind of close to the ones I've done before. So it'd be nice to have those around. And here's the 3rd kind of grass looking camo. It's gonna be like shadow grass. The thing about it, instead of having a camo background, it's gonna be all black. I know you're probably thinking that sounds stupid, but just bear with me. I think it's going to look good. The thing I have to do now is figure out exactly what colors that I want to use. The boat that I saw that I'm trying to do this one like, it looked like he used 3 different colors. One is like an olive drab, and then like a kind of a khaki, dark khaki color. And then the 3rd one is going to be the hard one. It was like a matte, almost pale yellow, kind of like the color, you know, like a dried out corn stalk or, you know, dead grass. I got a cardboard box that I went ahead and painted black, same color as the boat. I got a few cans of paint from Walmart, and I hope that I can figure out the colors that I want to use and maybe get an idea how to lay this stencil out. So I'm gonna play around with that, and I'll bring you guys back and let you know exactly what colors I'm using. All right, here we go. This is what I come up with on my test panel. I know I got some overspray, don't worry about that. But what I do like about this is how I've kind of got it staggered. When I try to do that on the boat, that base color, the first color, in case anybody wants to know, is Rust-Oleum Camouflage Deep Forest Green, kind of like a John boat green. The second, the khaki color, is Rust-Oleum Camouflage Camo Sand, and then that top yellow color is Rust-Oleum Satin Summer Squash. Very, very manly. The thing I'm going to change, I believe, is I'm going to layer it differently. I'm going to put green, yellow, khaki. I want the khaki to be on top of the yellow. I think that'll kind of mute that yellow a little bit, especially since it's satin. It's hard to find a yellow color like that that's flat, or heck, even satin. But I think that's going to look a lot better with the khaki on top, and I'll probably lower the khaki like I did the yellow, and the yellow will probably match the green. Anyhow, that's what the colors I'm going with. I'm going to have to try to figure out how to do this, because the rib, that's the hardest part about doing any of these boats, is dealing with that middle little kick out on these boats, because it gives you a void and it'll make your stencil ghost. What I usually do is tape it off, and I'll do one section at a time, take the tape off, reverse the tape up top, and then do the other section. Since this is kind of big stencils, I don't know if I'll be able to get away with that, but I want to look good too, so kind of in a conundrum. I know I'm going to do this bottom section, which would be the top section if it was flipped upright. I'm going to do it first. So I'm going to lay the stencil up here and just kind of eyeball it and see what it's going to look like before I move on to what I'm going to do about laying it out. I also lied to you guys accidentally. After looking at the picture again, the boat that I am trying to mimic that I really like, it's just one stencil, if you can't tell. So, I mean, that's kind of cool, but also going to suck because it's going to take a lot longer. And trying to keep that one stencil from getting oversaturated is going to be a pain in the butt. So it's going to be a long, tedious process, but I hope that it's going to look really cool, and it's going to be worth it. So wish me luck. Let me do some figuring. We'll get to painting camo. Well, I got it taped up. What I decided to go ahead and do is tape back a little bit, because if I do have the seam off a little bit, remember my boat's upside down, so that's not really going to be visible if the line is a little off or whatever. My last few camo jobs, I didn't push it back that far, but I don't want this to be visible because it's a lot of straight lines in this camo pattern, so I don't want it to be visible at all if it's off a little bit. So I thought pushing it back a little bit, I probably could have brought it all the way back to that edge. But anyhow, tape all the way down. This is just paper that came like packing material. I got it on both sides, which I ran out and had to improvise down there. Plan on putting this stencil kind of resting on that round part, like right there. I have to put a little bit of tape on the edge of this on both sides to keep from having any overspray, and then hopefully be able to use, I got this old arrow, kind of push in on it when I spray it, then kind of roll it out of the way. I've done that on all the other builds. Hopefully I can power through it. It's going to be I'm gonna have to take my time. It's gonna make me take my time because I only have that one stencil. It's gonna be 3 different. I'm gonna have to go all the way down here with green, all the way down with khaki, all the way down with that yellow color. And it's gonna take a minute because we want to not saturate the stencil, and also wait till it dries before we do the next area. So, all right, guys, wish me luck. Let's see how it goes. Dudes, I have been busier than a one-legged cat trying to bury a turd here lately. I've had to work a lot of 12s at work. I've been doing the camo on this boat. I did the trailer on this boat. I finished up the Owens boat and got it gone, which I'm not sure how that video will land. I'm hoping before this video. I've been working on the boat motor with another little side project I got with the trailer, which I'm hoping that you guys see before this, so it'll make a little bit of sense. But anyways, man, it's been kind of hectic. But I am finally done with the camo on the outside of this boat. I'm gonna let you guys see it. Did not turn out as good as I wanted to, but it never does. I need to take this tarp down, move all this crap out of the way, and get this boat on the trailer. By the way, I'll go ahead and show you guys what I've done to the trailer too, and let you look at that while I'm taking this crap down. I got bored yesterday and took the house carpet off the bunks, and I guess I'll try to knock out the rest of it today. Just gonna do a little before and after, I suppose. See how it turns out. Shouldn't be too bad. Won't be able to finish today because I don't have the bunk carpet in yet. And I don't really like how somebody attached those bunk boards, so I'm probably going to just go ahead and just totally redo those. And a little after. Wasn't too bad for about, I don't know, maybe 4 hours total, 5 worth of work. Went ahead and put new safety chains on, a new wiring harness, got a new strap for the winch. I put this board on here with some nylon washers, so it's got a little bit of adjustment to it. Won't know exactly where that needs to go until we get the boat on there. Painted the whole boat with that Eastwood sealer stuff, rust stop, whatever you want to call it, and then went on top of it with some flat black. Recovered all the bunks. Brand new tires that I actually bought for another project they didn't work for, so I had them laying around, and went with some of them black tail lights just because I think they're cool. Still need to run something to cover up them wires. I mean, I might just spray paint it black just so it ain't so ugly, but that's it. Adjusted the bunks a little bit. I think right where they are is going to work pretty good. I said about, you know, it might be six hours total. I didn't tally up how much I spent, but I mean, I do keep a running total on how much I spent on these boats. You can spend a lot of money on one of these daggum trailers, so if you're looking at boats and the trailer needs a lot of work, go ahead and let you know that you're going to spend some money. All right, turned out pretty nice, I think. Ready to get the boat on it, see what it looks like. All right, here we go. Like I said, it's not exactly as good as I wanted it to be. I still got a little bit of touching up to do. I got some overspray that a lot of it I think is going to be able to just wash off with some soap and water. And touch up a little, like I said, a few spots, but I don't know. I hope once it gets flipped right side up, you know, maybe it'll change my opinion of it. I mean, it don't look bad. It's pretty close to what I was going for. It's just, I don't know. The yellow was a little bit too bright, so I ended up taking just some regular black and kind of misting over it in spots to try to darken it up, or, you know, make it have like shadows. And then my green did not pop too well. I wish it was more of a John boat green. It was that camo green, I think deep forest green. I don't know. Like I said, I don't hate it, but I don't know. Y'all know me. If you watched any of my paint videos, you know I'm never happy. So, all right, let's get this thing turned around somehow in the driveway and put her on the trailer. See what it looks like now. All right, it fits on the trailer pretty good, actually. I was just trying to guess. I just kind of put the bunks where the bunks were for the other boat that was on this trailer. And I'm glad that it's a little bit far back because I really want to push this stop up some, because very congested up here and it's kind of close to the tailgate. I don't even know if I can open my tailgate right now. Yeah, it's pretty scary. You ain't gonna be able to make no tight turns like that. A lot of times I like to drop my tailgate when I'm backing a boat in, because I can just see better than relying on my little camera, my backup camera. So that works out pretty good. Like I said, I can push all of this back, you know, however long that is. Looks like to me 4 inches, 4 or 5 inches, and it should look pretty good. And there it is, my custom camo paint job. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's definitely different, even though I copied from somebody. I think it'll look a lot better once we get some black on the inside of the boat and a few accoutrements. All right, I'm glad that's done. Now we can try to clean up a little bit around here. All right, dudes, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right here. Even though I'm probably gonna be done with this boat in a few days, I'm hoping. We'll have to waiting on some parts as always. but it's just kind of running a little bit long, and I don't want to have like a video over an hour. So we're gonna make this one a two-parter. A little bit more work involved in this one than the past two boats. Got a little bit of more money in it than I was wanting to. But hopefully I just bought the last item for it, or at least big expense. And I might need some knick-knack stuff, you know, $2 or $3 here and there. But hopefully no more mega spending on this boat. And we can get it wrapped up, and hopefully I can take it out one day next week. Today is actually Saturday the 24th. I think it's the 24th. And in Tennessee, bow season opens today, but I'm not off work this weekend. That's why I'm kind of in a scramble to get this thing done before next weekend, because I'm planning on going hunting, get this thing out of my hair and focus on some deer hunting. Like I said, in a few days, I'm hoping to have everything tied up on this boat, take her out and give her a whirl. Hopefully she does good. I can move it on out of my garage pretty soon. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you on the next one.